else would have expected. On the flip side, though, YFP, like, they were sailing with all the confidence in the world after that 13-3 map win on map number 1, but then things started to fall apart. And really, we've seen excellent resilience come out of Shopify. Got to see how resilient YFP are and how much they want to make sure that they can continue to stay in this, because once again, this is an elimination match. So one of these teams will be taken out and from playoffs in stage 3, which is especially important if these teams want to make a run at finding their way into the Ascension tournament.
For sure. And Spaz has played Brim like way back when on this map. It is now swapped to the Astra, which Dryad pointed out is strange. Like, just with how strong the Brim ult is on a map, and especially on a site like this. But for now, SRB will just be barking on the other side of a smoke. And BCJ will be ready to maybe flash in and get some attention. While SRB were lurking around, and hey, we wanted to see them work the map more, and now they're really taking their time.
Yeah, just in the driver's seat, slowly spinning the wheel over onto this B site. It's going to be interesting, though, because the really close by here under a lot of pressure.
Okay, good win just with the right clicks from Monsi, and Thief could not leave, and Jakey still try to anchor. Monsi's all over him like butter on toast, and you love to see it. Barrier 2 to block off the re-entry. So give a chance for SRB to plant, but man, YFP are already knocking at the door. Off the haunt or something thrown from We Did. They got some good pings. They know SRB are still within the site, and that's entry from We Did. YFP taking angles. SRB still within the window and still could not perch up against YFP. Now it's just BCJ. And you gotta try and stop the whole army of YFP. Not enough bullets in the chamber. Wait, you stopped the monster, but you didn't stop YFP. So pistol for them nonetheless.
Oh, that was almost frustrating to watch. Like, it was like, oh yeah, 1v2, you know, should be able to get it, just gotta shoot there. Oh no, they sent Wingman onto it. That's just a little bit smaller and a little bit harder to defuse. And then you actively see YFP body block for Wingman to make sure that he at least gets halfway onto that defuse. It was a really good take coming in from SRB working the map, but an excellent retake from YFP there. And once again, whereas Shopify Rebellion, kind of like what Dryad was saying on the desk about playing the utility, playing the brain games, when it comes down to this, the kind of on-the-go flying moments, YFP feel like they're more in control and ready to be diligent about how they engage there, usually resulting in them winning out these gunfights. So, see how this one plays out. Already B-Dog got one.
Well, Judge, Jury, and Executioner, and Spaz is within a volley. Not loving that. And is trying to actually still cross into the line of sight of an outlaw. So SRB gonna really be stuck, just trying to play off the smokes and the chaos that creates, but ultimately stuck on an island with no raft. So it'll just be up to Monsi. At least he earned himself the ult, which is very fast, because he popped off with, what, a 2 or 3K on the first round, but we'll see if that ult helps Monsi and friends from SRB on YFP's bonus.
Get back to chilling.
Yeah, like, it's kind of crazy that Annihilation ready to go, locked into the pocket there, and look at the kill feed for Shopify Rebellion Black. You wouldn't expect it to be the way that it is, but Monsi sitting with 5 kills and nobody else on the squad has found anything just quite yet. So given how close these rounds have been, it makes a little bit more sense why the ultimate is already on line. But this is where we get to see Shopify Rebellion pull out their rifles. I'm still really liking the way that we're seeing YFP play off of their initiators. I think it is extremely well coordinated, just either going off the Prowlers or off of the Gecko utility to scout things out. It's well rehearsed.
Oh, yeah, this Judge is hurting. It's still there. And SRB just were hoping, trying to clock that it wouldn't be at the B site. And then Monsi won't get to pull the Annihilation. You were hoping to play off some info from the net, and YFP just pulled the trigger faster. So chance for YFP to continue the streak. Now they got a 2-2 split.
Should at least be able to get that spike down, but look at that. BCJ so far back. Able to use the overgrowth on himself, but Pancakes finds
that would have been
of
scary. I thought B-Dog is going to get that one for sure. Good heads up play from Jacob. Now, the odds are pretty even. SRB will get to fall back towards main. Stellar in heaven. They'll have Stellar with the Outlaw 2 coming in from the back side. YFP can just break up some of these smokes, wait them out. They'll try to get vision with these longer range weapons, but SRB have the element of time on their side, and apparently they frag out too. Huge play from Spaz and BCJ, trying to win their first rifle round and stay in this game as best as they can.
Once again, it's this Astra utility that makes it so much more annoying to try and literally do anything, especially in those post-plant positions. And you can see Shopify Rebellion, that's kind of how they want to play things through. You know, use Monty's utility to kind of make that rush happen, isolate and eliminate, and then Spaz staying alive, working in the back lines. The Astra can drop the stars from anywhere on the map, make sure that the post-plant is more or less secured. So great stuff coming in from Shopify to win out their first round. It's going to be YFP coming back, swinging into this next one. I think a big win condition here is if Monty's able to get somebody out during the initial fight with the Annihilation, take them out of play completely. It's going to make that site take a lot quicker. And on top of that, will allow for additional time to allow Shopify Rebellion to make sure that they dominate the site and hopefully find a couple of kills.
Yeah, SRB are just going to ignore Hookah for now, and either Sonic sensor there in case someone comes through the teleporter too, so don't mind it. Bird up close from SRB, no pings. Does Jakey want to swing out here? Annihilation looking for a target. It is going to kidnap Jakey from Tube. So you have Stellar stepping up, hoping to at least benefit from the moment of chaos. And gets the spike down. SRB have someone inserted into elbow. Monty has to wrap around, but wants to help support the front side. And now Monty is in no man's land because the spike went elsewhere. And the lurk from Jacob doesn't work out. Monty doesn't last much longer. So SRB almost overthought and overcooked this round.
It felt reminiscent of map number 1. Oh, look at that. We did hopping in on the site. No one's expecting that. And then all of a sudden gets a couple of kills, opens the door for YFP. And in that scramble that Shopify Rebellion are in, they just kind of fumble the spaghetti and are not able to secure the kills necessary. The Annihilation was an excellent start from them, but it felt like YFP were ready to kind of pounce on them as soon as it happened. An excellent read and making sure to mitigate the damage that could have came through from that pick. So honestly, I think that this was just a really good response coming through from YFP as they continue to honestly surprise me at how well they've been playing reactively to some of these set plays that Shopify Rebellion Black are setting up.
Yeah, there's some clear gaps of information within SRB to kind of hear Stellar or somebody walk around the site after got the Annihilation on Jakey, and SRB have been really punished by these gaps from not checking where YFP are in these close corners. But it's been really hard to get a read on where YFP are, whether they're up these close corners, they're playing far back, because YFP are always switching it up. And speaking of that, yet again, they have Weeded sitting in Hookah, while the rest of SRB are going to try and work the map even slower.
Excellent little lineup there. Love a good observer viewing the lineups to see where all of it lands, especially when it lands properly. You hate to see it when it misses, but Thief now locking down the safe site, has Spider Sense tingling, finds Bane, does a lot of damage to Jacob as well.
How does he know? Thief is so good. And that's why you have him as that secondary duelist. Well, now the primary. He's known for that raise on this map. Their specialist rings true for that first blood. SRB have had a really tough time having the explosivity of getting into A main, at least easily, because clearly the element of mystery behind your Viper wall is not enough. Not with the intuition that YFP have, so it's plan B for SRB.
Oh, excellent detail.
Okay, here's the orbital strike, and why we love a good brimstone. BCJ executed. SRB falling like dominoes.
30 seconds left.
And YFP have reestablished themselves off of such a good ultimate from B-Dog.
Toxin screen down.
Once again, just excellent calling coming through from YFP. Genuinely, like the fact that we see Weeded just kind of swing around those corners, spots them out there, immediately calls to get the orbital strike on top of the C's adding so much chaos. And then because that giant space laser is kind of beaming down, allows for the opportunity for the slip through, the rest of the members of YFP flowing through. It was just the mid-round call from Weeded to make that such a beautiful round coming in from YFP. And once again, it's in these small micro moments where we see YFP really start to excel. There's excellent game plans coming through from Shopify Rebellion, but it feels like they just can't quite execute on them how they would want to. And when that kind of push comes to shove, it's going to be those little micro plays, those little adjustments that YFP are making that are going to help them come out on top. So Shopify Rebellion, they decide to pull their round-winning card out of their pocket, taking a time out now. And hopefully they can re-strategize some stuff to pull things back because YFP are slowly making this one spiral out of control.
There's just more bells and whistles. There's more layers and depth to YFP when you run the two initiators. You have Stellar, you have Weeded, you got information off of either of those characters, and you can flash in, while SRB, they really have to leverage BCJ and these flashes. You can have such deep util with the birds, but it's the right time and the right place. And YFP are always switching up how they layer their defense. So it's what moments do you want to clear as well for SRB? Is it through hookah? How deep into B do you want to get the birds? Do you dog up first and fake to the other side? Need to see SRB really get YFP itching their heads, or they're going to be going to playoffs, or at least have a chance to go to in the further matches. As SRB bird in towards Jakey, he's been netted. SRB, they try to punish. No one checks the back corner. Jakey robs them of the most easy kill, and this ruins the whole round for SRB.
I know they can't, the people can't see me right now, but my hands are on my head because I can't believe what I just saw there. The utility was perfect from Shopify Rebellion. It was perfect. You got him in the net and he can't move. And still Jakey walks away with 2 kills there, allowing Stellar more than enough time to go in through the smoke and swing back, making sure that the spike is in an irrecoverable position. It's just disaster for Shopify Rebellion on this round. And once again, those little micro adjustments, those little plays work out perfectly for YFP.
I have the spike.
It's just not the first time, not the last time that SRB don't check the one corner, the one gap, the one lapse in their judgment is exactly where YFP are sitting. And good for Jakey to be as stoic as he was, even while netted. Even Pancake's got the heads up on there. I don't think Spaz can save this. 1v2, it's possible. He'll get the spike down, his elbow's sticking out, and that's the moment that Thief executes.
Oh, man. Tripping over their own foot there. It's so hard to watch because, once again, the idea, the coordination coming through, the plan was looking so clean from Shopify Rebellion, and unfortunately, Jakey just kind of seals the nail on the coffin for that last round. Makes it an unwinnable scenario here. Look at this. Goes through, is able to find the double clear, does have a bit of support thanks to that poison cloud, but still should not have gone the way that it did. Spaz trying his best to try and clutch that one up, but YFP continue to run away with things as we see once again Shopify Rebellion back onto a stave. It's going to be a nice little stinger rush here. They do have a couple of ultimates, get the Seekers for that information, Cosmic Divide to lock out different angles. But meanwhile, YFP, like, they've got a lot of ultimates of their own. And if they do deem necessary, can start getting that ultimate cycle online to make sure they continue to hold the advantage.
YFP just can hold their ground, hold their space.
You are divided.
Here's the Cosmic Divide at the very back of the site, and Stellar hopes to exit and is creating as much delay as possible with the flash that hits Payne as he was doing a bit of a drive-by, and the rest of the Stingers are put to sleep. And SRB was gonna be a miracle to get back in. It's the Nightfall for YFP to retake, but they still have to cross through the Cosmic Divide, and they don't have the information, but maybe they have the better shots. It's 2 versus 1 for YFP, and B-Dog ends it for good. 6-1 for YFP.
And we see there, YFP, they dip in and decide to use 2 ultimates, which genuinely speaking, I think was the right call because sure, this is a bit of a fast rush coming out from Shopify Rebellion. They've already found a bit of an advantage. We need to make sure we continue to secure these rounds. We still have two extremely valuable ultimates online being Stellar and Jakey's, so they're not too worried about the midst of all of it. But once again, I like the idea from Shopify Rebellion. The Stinger Rush works out perfectly here. They make sure to make everything kind of clear, but it's so interesting as it's YFP going fast this time.
Oh yeah, little homie alert. You got Thrash out. Oh, Jacob, you have to change your name if you want to get out. That's the deal. But what? YFP, we're actually somehow trading against SRB. When YFP had the heads up, now it's Jacob and Spaz, who Jacob somehow, while detained, does live. The YFP have taken advantage of all that map space given to them and got SRB real paranoid about this. They're trapped. Jakey's gonna go test the waters and gets the heads up on Spaz. Just when Jacob was watching the angle. At least he gets his win. Only one Jake will survive, but he's against two of YFP.
Big question right now. Do you invest the ult or not? 1v2 scenario, it is kind of winnable here. But Jacob, very low HP. Meaning maybe you don't decide to do this. Such slow patience coming through from YFP at this moment, which might lead to their victory because as soon as they hear that teleport, look at this, B-Dog is in a prime position.
Oh, mystery. Jacob thought they were a lot closer than they were and thinks he could just get a free play with the knife out and everything. YFP did not budge and they were so quiet. 7-1. Oh, this is getting out of hand. It's giving Sunset a little bit.
That was 2 maps ago. We can't bring Sunset back at this point.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
It's crazy seeing some of these things happen. I'm wondering if the crosshair placement of Shopify Rebellion Black is too good because these grav nets, multiple times YFP members in the grav nets are finding kills. And it's because the SRB players, their crosshairs are where it should be at the player head model, and yet the grav net forces the players to crouch. So I don't know what's going on here. They should not be getting kills when you're in the grab net, especially with the triple swing coming through from Shopify Rebellion. But I think that might just be a testament to how well things are clicking for YFP currently. You know, you talk about giving Sunset. We're seeing Shopify Rebellion Black dip back in for a timeout yet again. So burning their 2 timeouts in this first half because this is 7-1 right now. YFP are showing no signs of slowing down.
It would be so YFP to qualify to playoffs in like the very last round of regulation. Like this is not, I swear I've seen this before. This is very deja vu, but SRB weren't able to turn around the wins on their first timeout. Now they got kind of a mixed buy going on with some light shields, but they really believe in this and might be at bot not, but now they've traded that for an outlaw thief. Gonna calm down on the credit spend here.
I've got your trail.
A little bit of information, but it will be the Seekers very early on. It's going to be a rush in from Shopify.
Yeah, you're going to be able to leverage this judge. The Seeker goes to the back of the map, and BCJ locks in on Heaven. So the bases are covered for SRB. You got a pit within. Surely with the investment, it pays off, right? Something about stocks and checks and balances, right? But you haven't killed enough from YFP to really feel super secure. SRB just haven't been secure in their reads throughout, even the last round. It's based on the decisions. Now YFP can sit and spray through the pit and hope to catch Jacob where it hurts. Now the spike gets planted. YFP gonna kind of fake with the satchels, but SRB are gonna abandon the pit and go to B. And Jakey is about to meet them head on. And it's the volley that kills BCJ. This round is insane. Jakey is insane. Lock him up. And SRB will get away with dealing with the solo defender while Thief was left behind to deal with the remnants of SRB. But this is not going to feel like a clean round. Whoever wins.
Blow for blow at this point. But still, Spaz and Paint still alive. No more utility available, but YFP are going to make their way in. Paint goes down first.
That is so unlucky. Just as soon as you check another angle, that's... Oh,
One enemy remaining.
oh wow, Spaz. Wait a minute. way he gets a shot through the box like that. Oh, B-Dog tagged him. Oh, someone's gonna die, and they're not even gonna see who did it. Scary. Diffuse gonna get halfway. Spaz has to check it. They're dropped down, and quick to the trigger. SRB somehow clutched the round.
It was the timeout, Jen. I'm telling you. The timeout
Div.
coming through for Shopify Rebellion to get them yet another round. And unfortunately, they don't have any more of those timeouts available. But still, like, shenanigans kind of coming through there. It looked like it should have been clean. Jakey somehow able to find so much value off of a single snake bite, you know, a lot close range shot here, and then Spaz clutching it up in the 1v3. It's kind of crazy how that round played out, but Shopify Rebellion will take it. Their economy is still not looking the best here. They have to really dig into their pockets to make sure they've got rifles coming into this next one. While YFP, they're more than comfortable at the moment. Spaz, though, getting the Cosmic Divide back online very quickly. Only had it 3 rounds ago. That is a really good tool to make sure that you can kind of get these engagements a bit cleaner.
YFP in a double swing. Thief looks to his left and Weeded to the right, and does discover SRB lurking around mid, but you didn't really get the numbers. His Paint is gonna go exploring within the pits. A big play and he gets past. He's on the perimeter. He's still trying to look for where this Viper is, and SRB are so split off from their duelist, and Paint gets Stellar, but hasn't put down the pit. Monty's gonna join him. SRB flood in through hookah, a sense of security, as Shaky cuts him at the heel. And SRB do get the pit down, or at least it expires, but at what cost? SRB just kind of went for the Hail Mary. Gonna be praying to Mary very soon because they're down 5 rounds. And this bird is just to get information, and BCJ trades makes it easy for Jacob. But he's against Jakey and Thief, trying to get his revenge. 1 versus 2. Oh, Jakey didn't spot that drop down right in front of him, and Pancakes and Spaz both clutch rounds that I feel like SRB shouldn't have won, but we're here with the popcorn, so.
Yeah, this is a popcorn match. You know how they talk about a popcorn flick at the movies where you're like, just put the feet up and kind of enjoy what's kind of happening on screen. That's pretty much what we're seeing in some of these rounds. The Weeded move, I feel like maybe this is just Weeded's patented strategy of just deciding to swing out of a smoke and then finding multiple kills to get amazing value for YFP, because Weeded kind of does that again, is currently at 11 kills, but then just at the end there, Jacob clutches it up and finds a double kill, making up for that previous round of a bit of an overcook. YFP rush fast.
Okay, Jacob keeps YFP in check, and the spike is down mid, and SRB thought they could have a quiet, peaceful default, and YFP run them down and may have just secured the round, but BCJ has slipped through the cracks and in the defenses is somehow in the A site by himself, and no team, no friends. And you got Thief really scared away the opposite duelist, and that could be a moment for BCJ to backstab, but he's really just waiting for Paint to join him. Okay, they'll wait for the showstopper to expire. BCJ definitely acting suspicious, and Jakey's gonna watch the smoke. How the heck do Paint and BCJ salvage this? Well, it's all about fun timings. An orbital strike to get Paint uncomfortable. Let's get the satchel up. BCJ swings off of that. And yeah, this is such a game of all time, Marks.
Yo, the tech to boost yourself up into the air to move out of the way so you don't get hit by the paint shells, that's crazy. I have not seen that one before in one of these matches, and that is a lot of fun. And unfortunately, it isn't enough in the midst of all of it, where Paint really had a hero moment there. Being able to find that backstab made it suddenly very possible. But like, look at this. Paint's got hops and completely avoids it. Unfortunately, though, the timing there from that utility messes up the double swing that BCJ was planning on. And so it all just kind of falls apart at the end. So YFP now up 8-3. Last round of this half. It's not a good money round for Shopify Rebellion at this point. BCJ, only person with a rifle in hand. But of course, YFP looking very well equipped for this round.
I'm wanting to see how SRB can leverage the information off the dog, and you went for the sword for the showstopper, and it's not a bird, it's a plane, it's Thief just satcheling in your face. So SRB did not get the edge. Even off the Cosmic Divide, I thought they could seal in the trouble and isolate, divide YFP, but it's only united them on the front. And SRB are looking to re-clear through, I guess, their Viper's wall from Jacob.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a standstill here. Such a bad spot for Jacob. In the midst of all of this sight, Jakey in an excellent position, though, to kind of hop through and give him a nice little jump scare in the back line. Valorant will be a horror game if this works out properly. Double swing through showers, get in the space of the Viper's wall. Should have enough fuel now to be able to go up and hopefully secure a plant.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, Jakey can be really patient with this. And Monsi opens things up, gets the ball rolling for SRB on the flank. Jakey makes his presence known, and Monsi has to make a decision. And surely someone's called this out, but
No.
he gets caught throwing a net, and the spike is down. The round is cooked. There's 9 seconds left, and Jacob has the sprint towards the spike. And I thought for sure that Jakey was watching that. All good. Knife him in the face. Oh, it was a shot to the face. So 9-3 anyway for YFP.
Jen, I thought for sure that was going to be a knife. I see the knife
Me
coming
too.
out. I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, you know, he has to stick the spike here. This would be the moment, but still respect being shown. The YFP, they go 9-3 in that half. But once again, hey, curses do exist. This could still go all the way here. It's chaotic, to say the very least, between these two teams right now. But Shopify Rebellion, once again, still fighting for survival here. It's so crazy to think about the fact that the Stage 1 champions have struggled so much in Stage 2, and right now are struggling to even find a spot in playoffs for Stage 3. Despite the fact that we know how much work they've put into this, it feels like they're just not finding the timings, the kills that they need, whereas YFP are a lot more loosey-goosey with it and are being rewarded for a bit more of that dynamicism.
And now you got the double initiators on offense, the double controller sentinel on defense. Like, this is going to be the best side for both of these teams, but whoever wins this pistol is really going to define how this match could end or go forward. You can't underestimate what SRB can do in a comeback scenario. It's just a lot of shooting through smokes, and YFP are not liking how this is looking. As Jacob has to look on towards the entirety of YFP coming his way, and he's going to decide to delay things, play as safe as he can. Watching from above will be Thief on that elbow side, and lurking within the shadows, we did, and Thief take care of business.
It happens again. Weeded inside of a smoke, watching it, has the support for the rest of the team. Made it look lights and clean. At least Spaz able to find that first one here. But still up against the world. Look at the firing line just on the other side.
Okay. Matrix Neo over here, just going in between the bullets for that. Double digits for YFP. Time to get the shovels out. It's looking like a funeral for SRB when it comes to the regular season of Stage 3, where the stakes are pretty high. They have built up enough points from their performance, especially winning Stage 1, that it was going to be about SRB getting further than Winthrop, who haven't qualified to playoffs yet. But this is the end of the road for SRB. Ascension is not looking good for them.
No, it's so tough. I mean, you get a lot of points because you did win Stage 1, but not go into playoffs in Stage 2, not go into playoffs in Stage 3. Your fate is in the hands of the other teams, and that just looks like almost an unwinnable scenario for Shopify Rebellion Black, unfortunately. Still, it's going to be the Stinger Rush this time. We're seeing the buy-up, backs against the wall, caged animal syndrome kicking in. Got to do whatever you can to try and win some of these rounds. A YFP, they just change it up a little bit. They slow it down, add that pressure onto Shopify Rebellion Black, make them have to sit in that 10-3 score line and think about what they've done so far.
Great guiding light from SRB, getting information. Someone's down B long, but not really knowing who or how many. That's going to be the issue. So now YFP will prowler up through U-Haul, get the attention of Spaz, who has to hold it down with the Stinger. You're going to expose the backline of SRB, an important matchup as YFP get away through the chaos of getting a plant, and Spaz will distance himself from U-Haul. Let YFP have it. Play for the duel, play for the win, and YFP may be down in members but time is on their side. Now, we did ready to play with some util, but the deadlock from Monsi does net and give SRB even more of a fighting chance. And now through U-Haul, SRB make their push. Spaz clears the way, and YFP just have to stop the spike from getting defused. And somehow, a beautifully placed day from Thief is only going to delay the inevitable as SRB still managed to defuse in front.
Yeah, just have enough bodies. The Stingers working out well, especially in those close quarters. I was going to say good stall utility, but the fact that Jacob's able to find one in the midst of all of that, take out yet another person who can stall things down, makes it so that it is a winnable round for Shopify Rebellion. Still kicking in this match. 10-4 though. Things look pretty dire for Shopify. YFP, they're going to be, well, we do see Thief actually buy up that Outlaw, while Shopify will be going for this bonus, keeping a lot of the Stingers alive from that last round, and Paint actually going to buy the Phantom. And Paint starting to heat up a little bit more. Was a pretty slow half for this player, but this time around found a couple of kills, getting a bit more comfortable. Spaz saw that Sheriff.
Oh, that's tough. Just got a little too judge happy there for Spaz, but I was about to praise him for being a clutch god, and now YP have to invest the Prowler to just clear out Hookah and just kind of leave Thief inserted with the Outlaw since he's got such great vision with the Star being down. And the other side is not looking so good for YFP. They have to go through a barrier and sonic sensors to get into A, so it's not going to be easy for YFP.
Yeah, look at this. They're all slowly making their way through. Pancake saw that, wanted nothing to do with it, tosses down some util, while Thief fighting on the other side.
Thief is fighting his demons. 1v2 over at B, while YFP to get through the barrier, but they're really working the map and taking every second of this clock.
30 seconds
As soon
left.
as Thief gets an opening, oh, he just clipped a PCJ. That's not plot armor. That's the metal from the tube saving him. Oh, and that means SRB really got to bail him out. YFP throwing the flash in from Stellar, and he picks off SRB from the corners. 10 seconds, they still have to plant. SRB could just play prevention protocol. And Pancakes is this causing a lot of issues. YFP have more than enough, though, to keep this going. Detain. Wow, Paint is invisible, and Monty is not. So that's what matters, I guess. Paint versus the world. Catch the back of Jakey, has to react quickly, uses the satchels, and clutches the 1v3. That's the Paint we know and love.
Oh man, out of the two targets you could have seen with the ultimate, unfortunately misses Paint, the one who's actually holding the rifle, and instead just goes for the player who only has a pistol in hand. I mean, that's just kind of unlucky there because it allows that value to kind of happen, but it is a very big momentum booster for Paint to start to come back online, which is going to be the win condition if Shopify Rebellion want to win this one out. The fact that Stellar walked away with 2 kills, by the way, just with the ghost in hand, is almost illegal. Like, that feels like that should have been criminal, despite the fact of the weaponry coming in from Shopify Rebellion. Fast instincts coming through. Shopify right back into things. Rifle round for YFP. Let's see how this one shakes out. It's going to be an early engagement.
Wow, early swing. SRB, confidence, momentum, the swing. A 2-for-1 for BCJ. YFP is asleep at the wheel, and SRB about to lock in their 3rd round win streak to try and get back into this game somehow.
Yeah, unless Jakey really pops off here, it's just looking a little bit cooked for YFP on this round. At this point, probably just trying to find a couple of kills, get closer to the ultimate, and slap a couple of the rifles out, hurt the economy of Shopify Rebellion Black, but a very different look on that defense. So aggressive, and it pays off in dividends. So excellent just kind of swap from Shopify Rebellion, especially with that momentum injection from that last round, understanding that, you know what, we've got the confidence, we're hitting our shots, let's make this one work.
Especially if you can deny this weapon from Jakey, and there it is.
Take a break, guys.
All right, I don't think SRB should be taking a break at this point because they are scaling, they're ramping up, they're swinging off barriers being down, they're clutching rounds that they shouldn't. Like, this is so fun to watch. This is so SRB, from Spaz to Paint making the big plays to Me wishing I got a Red Bull 2 with Elizabeth. this is getting the energy going.
Oh man, it really is. Like they must be listening to some Miley Cyrus right now because they're just climbing it back one round at a time. And now we're coming into this. Paint's got that showstopper online, and Spaz once again has a judge really close by. Prowler gets that information, so we'll respect that. YFP have to be a lot more subdued with this response.
There's a lot of ways to ego check SRB. When you have a Gecko, you have a Fade, but you don't have one of them. Stellar and B-Dog shredded, bit down by SRB. Just fighting fire with fire. The defense looking way better for SRB, just based on their composition. We knew that was going to be the case. YFP are still trying to jump over this ledge. It's awkward. Thief will get away with one, but doesn't want to invest a showstopper. Now with the judge lurking around, so SRB 4 in a row.
Yeah, 3 rounds now separating these teams. And what was really a very close, not a close half. And now Shopfire Rebellion on this defense are just looking like a completely different team. A lot of ultimates online. Looking almost reminiscent of when we saw YFP on the defense, but YFP have just struggled to kind of get some of these rounds put together here. Spaz kind of coming up clutch with the judge. A lot more just play off of one another from Shopfire Rebellion Black to make sure that they were going to tackle a lot of those kind of trades properly. Make sure that they don't lose people unnecessarily, mitigating the damage of those YFP kind of pesky lurks that we have seen this team kind of do all across the map.
These pesky just defenders from SRB and the util. Just so many smokes that you have to jump through, from Spaz to a net from Monsi to whatever else. Oh my god, I thought that was gonna get 2 for a second. Hey, 1 is good enough, but wait, Weeded breaks down the doors going through hookah. And YFP punish SRB, leaving that gap open. Trying to get the spike down though. B-Dog's taking his time.
Yeah, it should be a nice little plant there. We did somehow able to get 2, but keep in mind Monsi does have the Annihilation, and that could really give a clear advantage to Shopfire Rebellion on this retake.
Monsi's like, what are you doing? I was slow walking. I was trying to get a net play, trying to get Annihilation. Now they're definitely going to leave. Nightfall, after hearing all those shots from Weeded, just to keep SRB humble, keep them in their place. And speaking of that, they're very much stuck in their place, and that's going to cost some crucial seconds from SRB. And they're not going to find any angle on this Annihilation, so no chance of winning. SRB are going to save, yeah.
That's crazy. Weeded single-handedly prevented that round from falling into the clutches of Shopfire Rebellion. First the 2K, hop out the smoke, the classic, we've covered that. But then just playing the util excellently. Uses the Nightfall so preemptively, which immediately forces the respect out of Shopfire Rebellion because they know they can't push into that, thanks to a smoke preventing them, and then tosses out the C's to stop them in their tracks. And at that point, so much time has ticked off of the spike. There's so many different angles for Shopify Rebellion to clear. They simply just decide to call it off and back themselves up. Almost a mind game coming in from Weeded to make sure that that was a clean YFP round win.
Yeah, SRB just having to work through some smokes and not having any way of engaging into that. Really tough to lose all that momentum that you built up, and there's a chance now for YFP. Strong post playing off the effort from Thief. Where did they head to now? This is kind of a deep push too from Paint with the op, and he could get sightlines onto Weeded if YFP decide to go B, but no luck on SRB's side this time.
It's one of those things where you can really see that strategy of just setting Paint up on his own, expect to find a couple of kills or at least guarantee a lot of that map control. This is excellent because now Shopify, they know it has to be an A-side hit.
Okay, here's Steve with a very blind showstopper. He cannot play the game, and neither can the rest of YFP, who I think got barriered off from Monsi. They could not follow in the Seekers from SRB to continue to hunt down YFP, who are lurking around. And then SRB keeps spamming through the smokes. YFP are really stuck, and they're going to still try to commit and have little wingman plant in front of SRB's eyes while YFP tries to take U-Haul, and that's not going so well. not feeling very well, Mr. Stark. And SRB have the number advantage to try and catch up to YFP because it's their last chance to go to playoffs. And Paint misses the one shot. And Spaz has us back somehow. So B-Dog bit off more than he could chew. And SRB get to keep the op too.
YFP really struggling here. A great defensive plan from Shopify Rebellion. We talked about how Paint was set up so far on B side, guarantees more or less that this is going to be an A side hit. We see actually Jacob in the midst of all the smokes, in the midst of all that chaos, just decide, actually, I don't like it here. I'm gonna go over there, hop through the teleporter, play the life, and then as a result of that, it's just chaos on this site. The util battles, Spaz playing Overwatch from the top there, making sure to punish any of the players going through, and most importantly, they get an ultimate out of YFP. Thief uses the showstopper and doesn't get any value. So Shopify Rebellion, they close the gap yet again. 3 rounds still separating these teams here as a YFP. They're starting to sweat a little bit more. You can kind of tell in their gameplay, and they're moving yet again to on to A.
Very blind orbital strike, and just again the gap that you don't expect, and that's where Jacob is looking at. He ignores the wingman, but can't steady against B-Dog. Now there's an op in showers, and YFP have to deal with that problem, or I guess smoke it off. That's another way to deal with it, but then you don't have a smoke for heaven, and that's where BCJ pokes his head out. And he pokes out with the dog, who's still trying to see who and where within the site. YFPR out around U-Haul. The Stellar think he's safe enough to go for the Thrash? The big question. He's thinking about it. Now within the smoke, he could do it. He's hunting down. The spike's been touched, and man, SRB deny it off of Spaz. The spike gets tapped, and Weeded's still checking it. Oh, and he's locked in, and the spike gets halfway, but not all the way. YFP lock in and get to match point.
Wow. Yeah, you can tell just at the end there, like, even they were a little bit surprised that they kind of won that one out, but it's just Weeded really locking in. I have seen Weeded do disgusting things this map. And sure, not technically the top of the kill feed, but some of these rounds where it's so clearly going in favor of Shopify Rebellion, this player just comes in clutch, pulls things back, and it works out. The fact that Stellar uses the ultimate as well, the Thrash comes out, doesn't find any value, scopes out at least one of them, but ultimately kind of falls flat. The fact that YFP are still able to win off of that despite the disadvantages, I mean, that was a very well-earned round. One more to seal the series here, but Shopify still show no sign of slowing down.
Yeah, Jakey is just gonna get hit by a lot of util. Really wants that orb to get the pit online. This would really bolster the post plant for YFP. Maybe the orb was already grabbed. I don't know. I think they're more worried about SRB just throwing so much at them, and there is so much deadlock util with the sonic sensors to the mollies available for SRB. And Paint front and center with the op. He's just gonna shoot through. Spaz just spams through the smoke, gets B-Dog asleep. And YFP have no space. They're just gonna have to send it and take a big risk as Jakey is within enemy lines, and Weeded's trying to get sight lines on the second half of the site. There's so much to check, and Weeded and Stellar are out of util to really make SRB uncomfortable. SRB just have the better positions. The crossfire. Jakey's gonna try and crack their defenses, but it's a 2 versus 4 for the win for YFP, and Jakey gets 2 down. And it's Stellar in a 1 versus 2, but he's quite low on HP, and the flash, he'll get away from it, and almost had the head of Spaz in front of him. But it's SRB staying alive for now.
Wow, Jakey almost won that round back for YFP. Unfortunately, just not enough time, because I think a good move would have been just to take the teleporter, go to that B side, get the spike down, and then trying to play it, but didn't quite work out. Monty just tucked away in the corner simply before Jake decided to find a nice little 2-piece just onto the side here. And Stellar just unable to find those final kills with the man advantage going to Shopify Rebellion. Back and forth between these two teams. YFP still sit on match point, but this time around, they've got weaker weaponry. Shopify Rebellion bringing the entire armory to the battlefield. Paint still got this operator in hand. Thief could be moving up here, but the op is going to shoot.
but it did not hit, unfortunately, for Paint there. SRB have come to realize that Prowler being used to clear through Hookah, but I like that SRB are trying to retake that space immediately. You're not gifting anything for free to YFP. Wall down, Paint. That's the one that rings true, and he fades into the shadows, so YFP can't even trade. Now they're within the sight, and they have to react, and it's SRB down for the count. It's 2 versus 3, the comeback to save SRB and their chance to go to playoffs, and Jacob and Spaz are very disconnected from each other. Jacob is gonna earn what space he can with the pit, and will extend within the sight and a little bit into elbow. Thief still has the op lurking around, and all he has to do is watch the drop down from Hookah. That's where Spaz is going to be coming through. While Jacob, I think, has to be the big hero, but he's not going to go through elbow. And there's so many corners to check as soon as he emerges from the pit, and time is running out. YFP are smiling from ear to ear with their chance to live on and get another match for playoffs. And SRB, their demise in front, and it's too little. It's too late for them to blossom. YFP have knocked out SRB from playoff contention.
An amazing comeback from YFP towards the end there, where it was looking like Shopify Rebellion were really going to take them to the distance, really force them into a potential overtime position. And then it's just those little hero moments coming in from YFP, whether or not it was Weeded, whether or not it was Jakey. So many individual good